Hello, boys and girls. This video is specifically for those people that love to say older homes are built better than newer homes. Older homes are built better than newer homes. And today I am here to tell you that that is one of the most misleading things that people can say. Older homes are built better than newer homes. One, you don't understand all the things done to that older home so that it is still standing. Those older homes have to be brought up to code in a lot of situations so that they are still standing and able to be utilized as far as being a home. There are lots of things that when someone purchases those homes, they have to bring up to code so that they can live in that home. Now, the reason I bring this up today is because I wanted you guys to take a look at the subfloor in this home. Take a look at the subfloor and you'll see some parts of the floor that's already been patched at some point or another. So to my understanding, this house was a rehab before this homeowner had purchased it. And everything that I'm showing you, all these holes, are holes that were underneath the finished floor. And the finished floor was hardwood. The finished floor was hardwood, but this is the subfloor underneath it. And all of these holes were exposed directly. Granted, there was a moisture barrier between the subfloor here and the finished floor, the hardwood. The moisture barrier is nothing more than this black paper that you see here. So that was the layer between this subfloor and the finished floor, which is hardwood. But again, all of these things were exposed underneath. Now, there are several layers to me showing this to you. When people purchase these homes, they get an inspector. And when you get an inspector, you want to make sure that that inspector does their due diligence and is not just there to pick up a check from you. You also have to be certain that these inspectors don't already have relationships with said agent, said builder, because at certain points, these people begin to build relationships. You don't want to really use an inspector that someone suggests or refers to. You go out and find your own inspector and make sure that inspector does their due diligence, because if an inspector came out when this homeowner purchased this home and did their due diligence, a lot of the issues in this home at this point, the reason I'm in here and the reason this is in the condition that it's in now is because a pipe burst in the ceiling and that messed up the first floor of this home. So that's why this floor is actually being torn out. So being that it's torn out, these issues have been exposed and brought to the forefront. And typically homeowners don't know what's going on with the home. That's why they hire inspectors, so the inspectors can find the issues, they know what to look for, and then they deliver that info to the homeowner. Well, the person looking to purchase that home, then that person can either request that those things be fixed or they back out of buying that home. So that's why we're in here. Pipe burst. Now all this had to be torn out, and these things are exposed because of what had to be torn out. So again, this subfloor is not really structurally sound anyway, considering the time that this home was built. And I want to say it's built in the 1960s. This is what they use. Engineering has advanced a lot when it comes to homes. Engineering has advanced a lot, so we wouldn't necessarily use 1x6s turned at a 45-degree angle now in order to tie them in to create a subfloor. Now we use 3/4 inch sheathing plywood, tongue and groove plywood, which is much more sound. And I don't mean like sound as far as you hear, but I mean the quality, the sturdiness of those products in the way that they are installed is much more sound now than it would have been way back in the 60s. Are we talking the 60s? We talking 60 some odd years ago, depending on what part of the 60s. So technology has advanced so much from back then to now when we're talking about building homes. So people love to talk about how older homes are built better than these newer homes. I'm here to tell you that that is so false. So false. These newer homes, there's a lot that goes into these homes. I won't get too deep into it, but that's why You have to pull permits and then build on codes and all of this stuff. These newer homes are more structurally sound than the older homes. There's a lot of things that was done to these older homes for them to still be standing today. Um, I would say this about newer homes: the structurally sound part, yes. The craftsmanship part, maybe no. That's where the problem comes in, at the craftsmanship, not the structurally sound part. You ever know on these new homes have all these straps and ties to hold these homes together. You have to be into this stuff to even understand what goes into building a home. You have to understand wind zones, what sort of natural disasters as far as storms, typically come through those areas. Wind zones, a home can stand up to 150 miles per hour winds, stuff like that. So that's why the homes are structured the way they are, engineered the way that they are now for these things. And I'm probably going a bit too deep into it, but yeah, the basis of this video was to say that when y'all don't work in these fields, there's a lot that you don't understand about these homes. These older homes are not built to be of better quality. They weren't built, to be of better quality back then than they are today. And me showing you this here is a prime example of that. And to you, it might just be the subfloor. To me, knowing how this works is not just the subfloor. This starts at the foundation. There are a lot of low spots in here. A lot of low spots. The subfloor is not level at all, but it is what it is. The insurance company is not paying to re-level a home. They're only paying to put the home back the way that it was before, the pipe burst and destroyed everything. So unless you're willing to pay out of your own pocket down the line after you've purchased a home, when you come across these issues, get you a good inspector, have them inspect that home thoroughly so you know what you're dealing with, you know what you're up against, so that if something does happen, you're not digging deeper into your pockets than you should be, based on somebody not have someone not doing their due diligence as far as taking a look at that home. So I just wanted to show you guys that.